Hooker Kieran Cross grabbed a hat-trick to cap off a very good all-round performance from him. Dave Foggin Johnson scored an electric try in the last minute to show his pace and agility. Very good stuff. Into Australia, Mark. It was the first round of NRL fixtures, which means my Premier Sports subscription has now started to pay for itself again after 6 months of not really being used.
Did you watch much? I got in pretty much every game. I watched in patches the Titans game and the Storm game.
Yeah.
But pretty much everything else
I've got some bits to catch up on. I did see the Eels and the Broncos in the first round. I also paid some close attention to Canberra's game against Penrith because Elliot Whitehead was on debut, along with Josh Hodgson, so it's nice to see and Soliola played as well.
Yeah.
And he did well for them. So, just to
a bit of props, Soliola, when he came off the bench.
Yeah.
So the Eels were beaten by the Brisbane Broncos 17 points to 4. Greg Eden played. He had a couple of spaffs of the ball.
Greg Eden moments.
But he did gain 100 metres in the game. Willows Road got in touch and said Brisbane could have smashed the Eels, but for Bennett's conservative style. Opening day, to be fair, will his style suit England Rugby League? Hey, if we win.
If we're winning. Yeah, that's it.
Tim G said Greg Eden fluffed a high ball which gave away a try for the Broncos on Thursday night. What a surprise. The James Graham led Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs beat the Manly Sea Eagles 28 points to 6. James Graham making 230 metres in this game. Phenomenal effort. He also only missed one tackle, made close to 40. Had a big performance from him there in what was a pretty dominant display by the
I thought the Seagulls might make more of a fist of this with some of their recruitment, and obviously the Trbojevic brothers as well being in
getting the new combinations in. I suppose they had a new hooker, a new half-back pairing with one of them new to the side, and Tommy Turbo was playing at full-back, which was a new link. So everything was, and they had new centres. So all the link play, pretty much new. Well, they had one new centre. The Canberra Raiders beat the Penrith Panthers 30 points to 22.
It was quite a good game, this one. There's a lot of some errors, and it was a bit attritional at times, but the Raiders did enough to win. I think
it was injuries that made it attritional in the end, because the first half was really exciting.
Face.
A lot of the points were scored in the first half, weren't they? And that was a trend across the NRL this week, actually.
And it was red hot in Canberra as well, by all accounts, as well.
Yeah, well, Whitehead and Hodgson both made 30-plus tackles, so worked hard in that heat. The Tigers beat the Warriors 34 points to 28 after looking like they were going to smash them for 60 or 70 points after about 20 minutes. Glenn from from This Week in League. May his microphone rest in peace.
I was going to say Glenn, but not forgotten.
He would have been absolutely like aubergine, fist bump, squirt, wouldn't he? Like absolutely massively at that stage. But the Warriors came back into it, and in the end, Tigers probably deserved the win, I would say. But it was a thrilling comeback and turnaround. The Cowboys beat the Sharks 20 points to 14. This was another one where it could have gone either way until late on. Probably just the class of the reigning premiers overcame.
Yeah, close game this one. It's not a bad result, not a bad start to the season for the Sharkies, huh?
No, not at all, the Roosters were dumped 42 points to 10 by the South Sydney Rabbitohs. In that, Sam Burgess made his return to the NRL 165 metres from slamming Sam. But another Burgess was also in the stat line. Young Joe Burgess made his debut for the Roosters, and whilst his team may have underperformed in general, he grabbed both of their tries on debut, which was outstanding. I would say this proved our point about getting into the faces of those two young Roosters halves, because they didn't do nothing. Whereas they tore St Helens to shreds. And they didn't do nothing in this game because the South Sydney pack got right into them. South Sydney had a lot of injuries. I was going
to say, it's a result of what cost to South Sydney, though, because they've lost Reynolds and
Sutton,
so great.
The Titans had a big win over the Newcastle Knights as well at a very empty Seabus Stadium.
Fair enough.
30 points to 12 for the Titans there. So in what can be only described as the kind of rain that Willie Mason would cry about.
Right, I see.
It was really,
tipping it down.
cover your arm with your bib, Worthy. It really was. And then finally today, the last game of the round saw Widdop and Cooper both play for the St George Illawarra Dragons, but they were on the losing end to the Melbourne Storm, 18 points to 16. In a game that basically everything happened in the first half, and then it was whose mistakes would be the most costly in the second half, and the Dragons just made them first, and the Storm held on.
Very good. Okay, tell us a little bit about what's been going on at the Brentwood Eels, Mark.
Okay. This week was the London Nines tournament, which Aaron Smith, our friend from the Brentwood Eels, he coaches the under-14s age group there. He got in touch to tell us all about this. It's the current raiser to the 2016 Rugby League season in the South East. The Eels were able to enter the under-17s and the under-13s in this season. The under-15s tournament was waterlogged at a different venue, but these two sides got on their tournament. They both played at Richmond Warriors ground. It was a tough day at the office for the under-17s, losing all 3 group games to 0, but it's early days for them and they had some good players missing in that game. They did bounce back to win their 2 plate playoff games, 12-8 over the Invicta Panthers and 8-4 over the Southend Spartans.
Cool.
The under-13s day, that was a different tale really, and a longer one. But the under-13 started the day off well with a convincing win over the London Scholars by 20 points to 0.
Fantastic.
Next up was the Invicta Panthers. This game was a hard-fought battle which saw the Panthers win 8-4 following some sloppy defence from the Eels. The last pool game was against the spirited Surrey Sharks side, a fierce encounter that the Sharks needed to win. Archie Holding and Josh Robson-Groom directed the troops around the pitch to secure a draw at 20-all, which was enough to see the Eels progress to the semi-final. They played against a well-drilled Elmbridge Eagles team. The Eels came out the blocks fast to take the lead, but following a few key injuries, the Eagles powered their way back into the game, running out eventual winners by 12 points to 4.
Very good.
The final game of the day was the 3rd and 4th place playoff. The Eels played the Sussex Merlins, and an outstanding game with some quality players on show saw the Merlins go 8-0 up. The Eels regathered and came back strong to level the score, then take the lead 12 points to 8. The Merlins pounced in a nice kick once again to level the score at 12-12. 2 minutes left on the clock, the Eels showing their composure to work through their set before shipping the ball out wide and touching down in the corner in the final seconds of the game. A fantastic game. The Eels 16, the Merlins 12.
Fantastic.
In the final of the under-13s comp, the Invicta Panthers beat the Elmbridge Eagles to be crowned title. The Eels obviously finishing 3rd there. Brentwood Eels under-13s coach Danny Holding said, "A great day of rugby league today."
Good stuff.
The boys put in a real shift. Special mention goes to the 4 lads playing their first game of rugby league today. Great effort from those guys. Today was a good chance to take a look at our opposition for the upcoming season. I genuinely think once we get our full squad together, including a few more county players, this group could really do well and will fear no one.
Good
best of luck there.
Yeah,
great start for the 13s, patchy for the 17s, but promising end to their day. And we'll look forward to getting more updates like that on the Open Age team and the 14s primarily as we go forward.
Yes.
But any big results for these guys we'll hear about as we go along, so some names to watch out for there.
Indeed. Okay, thank you so much, Aaron, and we look forward to you keeping us up to date on the Brentwood Eels. Now, let's take a look into our crystal balls as we bring you our previews for round 5 of Super League. So it's round 5 of Super League. The competition's getting underway nicely now. First game of the weekend sees the Widnes Vikings taking on Hull FC at the Select Security Stadium. Mark, what do you think to this one? I
think that Widnes will win.
Good stuff. Okay, I agree with you. Over at Langtree Park. No, would you care to elaborate?
28 points to 20. I think there's question marks over who's going to be playing in the halfbacks for Hull FC with Leon Price out injured, and if anything, their try scoring has been. They've made a lot of meters down the left hand side with Tumavavi and Talanoa, but in the majority of the game, I've seen the scoring has mostly come off the right edge, with Jamie Shaw seems to chime in better that side, and Sika Manu's been running well, and Steve Michaels has been avoiding touch judges' flags.
You still won the game.
No,
class.
But in all seriousness, I'm not asked to make jokes, am I not? In all seriousness, no, I think Widnes are putting up more points, and Hull FC's defence isn't that great.
Yeah.
They've conceded a lot of points at home in their games, and there's no hiding away from that, really. And whereas Widnes, I don't know if their defence has been tested as much, but their attack is so on fire that I expect them to score more points, even if it does come down to being tested. I'm hoping for a stronger, more physical game from both of them than we've maybe seen out of both packs.
Yeah.
But eventually the backs to cut loose. But I'm going 28 points to 20 in favour of Widnes.
Yeah, I'm going for a Widnes win as well, 30 points to 24, so a 6-point margin of victory for the Vikings. For a lot of the same reasons that you've just given us, really. I do prefer Widnes' halfbacks, but I think the battle of I tend to think that Hull might have a slightly stronger pack, so it'll be interesting to see who wins that battle and then sets the better platform. If Widnes can set a platform for Brown and Mellor, then I think that will be enough to see them home. So yeah, a slim 1-try victory for the Vikings. Okay, St Helens take on Wakefield down at Langtree Park. I've gone for a big win for St Helens. I thought they'd get a result against Castleford last weekend, and they did. This is a home game that they will want to put some big points on and get some combos firing, and it's a good opportunity for them to do so. I don't think Wakefield have got enough to go over to Langtree Park after their performance against Catalan and come away with anything. For me, it could be a cricket score, so I've gone for 20-point victory, 30 points to 10 in favour of St Helens.
Yeah, I'm thinking quite similar to you, actually. Wakefield have maybe brought in some more creative players lately into the side, but I think that's weakened them up defensively on the fringes, and I think the form Atlee Avea's in is going to absolutely decimate Craig Hall if they put him in that left centre. With like what's the Milky Bar kid inside him as well. I just think that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And St Helens have got James Roby, so 32 points to 14.
Okay, Wigan Warriors take on Leeds on Friday night down at the DW. One of the trickier ones for me to pick. I just feel like, despite Leeds getting that win over a fairly patched up Huddersfield side, I don't see enough from Leeds yet to lead me to think that they're going to be able to beat Wigan. Both teams have got players in key positions missing, but I think at home, given the fact that it was 1,000 years ago that Wigan last lost at the DW, I think it'll be a close, entertaining game, but I think Wigan will come out on top. 20 points to 16. I've gone for a 4-point win for the Warriors.
Yeah, I've gone for a 7-point win because I think Matty Smith will treat us to a drop goal to just seal the deal on this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 25 points to 18. I think Wigan are just finding ways to win at the moment, and there's signs of some attacking potency coming out with the performances that Gelling's been putting in recently. George Williams scored a try. He's been very scrappy in his performances so far, but he scored a try last week. And if they look more at Sarge at fullback, I think that improves our attack no end.
Yes, I agree with that as well. Okay, the game of the weekend for me, the game of the round, sees the Catalan Dragons take on the Warrington Wolves on Saturday tea time. This has got all the makings of being another one of these really good televised games for me. I think there's two very good packs there, two beefy sets of forwards who want to get stuck into each other and lay a platform for two very classy sets of halves as well. These sides have both got an error in them. They've both got a mistake. They've both got the odd little brain fart. So that'll make it exciting viewing from a neutral point of view. I would go with the home team, depending on where the game was being played, to be honest, on this one. So I've gone for the Dragons, 26 points to 20 in an exciting game against the Wire.
I actually think Warrington will win this. The score I've predicted is just, for a Sando double up. I've gone for a 1-point win, 29 points to 28. But I think the point I'm trying to make in my prediction for this is Warrington will win. I think they've got a bit more defensive resolve. There will be points in it, and I think that'll be because Catalan do make defensive misreads.
Yeah.
But they've got so many skillful players. Their kicking game will be good enough to get around a very strong Warrington defensive line. I'm confident of that being the case, but I don't think they'll have enough to beat Warrington. I just think Warrington are the better side at the moment.
Okay. Huddersfield take on Hull KR at the John Smiths Stadium. As much as the Giants have got off to a poor start this season, and actually Hull KR are above them in the table, I just don't see Hull KR having enough to beat Huddersfield. I think this is where Huddersfield start to kick their injury-riddled season off. They've got enough to see off this Hull KR side. I think they're just toothless in the pack.